Gotta move you all back. There you all are, chat. Thanks for saying hi to YouTube. All right, first card we've already talked about, but for YouTube, yeah, card, actually. Sorry, YouTube. I'm just gonna pass up, you know, Targon City Yasuo. Yeah, I already said this, so sorry. I said it on the stream earlier, and this was my card that you all saw the video for. Yep. Let's get to the updates. Let's go. Okay, Aphelios. Aphelios isn't changing directly, but we're bundling these moon weapon updates in the champion section since they explicitly affect his gameplay. Okay. So he's still a 3-mana 3/3 is what they're saying. Gifts from Beyond. 1 to 2. All moon weapons cost 3 to 2. So they are essentially reverting Aphelios back to 2-cost weapons. Hopefully they do more than that because he's going to be incredibly broken if they only do this. I wonder if they've changed Veiled Temple as well. Do they just want Aphelios back? I don't know. Oh no, apparently I can't, I have to have this up. Okay. Crescendum. Summon a 2-cost follower from your deck, was what it used to be, but it's now summon a 2-cost follower from your regions. Okay, so it's a bit more RNG heavy and you're no longer tutoring something from your deck. You get to summon something, but you don't know what it is. So it still does something. It's unfortunate because I really like tutors in this game and Riot really seems to hate tutors, but you could not leave this card the way it was and change these moon weapons to 2. We all saw what happened, okay? We saw Box to Post summon as a 3/4 and then people become really sad. I am a bit surprised Aphelios is a 3-mana 3/3. I don't really know what gets to kill him. Okay, yeah, that's it, I think, for this package. So before Aphelios, you know, had Veiled Temple, which would give him +1/+1, and that would make him pretty much unkillable, you know, refilling the mana and stuff as well. But now he's still a 3-mana 3/3. At one point, they tried making him a 3-mana 3/2, and that wasn't enough, if I remember correctly, and then they nerfed the moon weapons. So at a 3-mana 3/3, I think he's pretty insanely strong, even with this change. Even with the Crescendum change, just because his utility that he gives is pretty nuts, and really the pool of 2-cost cards from what I'm thinking of Targon and PNZ is pretty good. Like, you can still play Crescendum and boom, Goat, or boom, Ballistic Bot. Like, Ballistic Bot isn't as good now, but it used to be really good, but I don't know, you can get some really good 2-cost cards from those regions. Let's go on to Azir. Level up requirements, it used to be 13 units, it's now 13 units or landmarks. This is really good for Mono Shurima, obviously, because it summons a landmark right at the start. It would work with Azir Aurelia technically as well, because you do the little like sand soldier thingy. So, boom, Broadwing. Wait, you'd have to be, that's if you're playing Targon Demacia though. I was thinking PNZ. I don't know why. I guess like it used to be PNZ Splash once upon a time. You could play Zoe Aphelios with literally anything though, you're right. So Mono Shurima stands, yes, we unite. I like the Azir change, me too. This feels pretty good. I like how it works with, it actually helps, it helps Mono Shurima more because of like ancient preparations and stuff too. I think it fits Shurima theme pretty well. Like the Azir change, but it makes me think that the links might be true. Well, so far they are, right? I saw them on Reddit. So far the leaks are true, and honestly, I didn't believe that the leaks were true. So this is a bit spooky because I was kind of on the leaks. I was like, this kind of seems like a, I don't know, it seemed a bit fan made, but maybe it's not. Nara base stats 3/3. And then 5/5. So they just took away an attack from him in both forms. Still has quick attack, still has, you know, overwhelm, still has quick attack. Still gonna be pretty good, I feel like. Not as kooky as he was before, but still pretty good. There's cases, I mean, there's cases where at 4-mana 3/3 quick attack, he won't be able to attack anymore. Pantheon level. Base stats, he just lost 1 attack on both things. I think that's a really good change. I love Pantheon. He's one of my favorite cards they've released in the last few months, but he definitely was a bit too strong. Pike, base stats from 2-3 to 1-3. Okay. So Death from Below gets a decent nerf, and then Pike being able to level up is also a pretty decent nerf. It's not... I don't know. I don't know if I found it as necessary. Here. I don't know if sorry, I had to message. I'm also still managing Swim's channel, so I had to message the editor for his channel as well. So it's busy for me. Okay, so yeah, 1-3. I don't know. I don't really care for this change personally. I don't know if Lurk was feeling like it really needed a nerf personally. I know some people might disagree, but I think Lurk has a pretty like divergent playstyle, and that a lot of people enjoy playing it, and it's very rewarding to see your units, you know, get big units and stuff like that. And it didn't really feel like it was like taking over competitive play or the latter either. So I would have, I don't know. I don't think this nerf was super necessary, personally. Rumble. Okay. Requirement, I've dealt 12 damage. Sorry. I will bring the chat back up. Oh, I'm so bad at this. I've seen allied mecha yordles deal 12 damage. Okay, so instead of him having to attack his allied mecha yordles, he can be a bit more of a bench sitter now than before, which we've seen Runeterra is usually a good thing for a card, not a bad thing for a card. So this is to help him level up easier. And I think this will help him quite a bit, actually. Lurk never felt super toxic like Yordles and Arms. Yeah, like Lurk feels like you have to work for it. Yeah, the Rumble change is good. So, got an extra attack, got an extra attack, got an extra attack, got an extra health, got an extra health. Okay, so really just kind of buffed all the Mecha Yordles, which will help with I've seen Mecha Yordles. So I guess I mean, I've never even seen Rumble played, I don't think. And I really personally wasn't that interested in playing him myself. So yeah, I guess he was a bit underpowered along with all of his followers. I like it how they didn't just buff Rumble and say, okay, we're done here. And they were like, we also need to buff the followers too. I think that's really good. So I think this change is fine overall, and I keep misclicking. Okay. Ooh, Victor! Hex core upgrade now costs 0. Ooh. That's actually a really big change. Like all the time, I love playing Victor, okay? And whenever I play him, I'm like, oh, I need a bank of mana. So then, you know, I get 4 mana, I can, you know, play a card to, you know, buff him. And then ideally too, I need to keep him alive as well. So you have to roll over so much mana to keep him alive just to hope that he stays alive. But now when they cost 0, you're able to level him up quicker, and you have to invest a lot less into him. So when he's removed, it doesn't feel as bad. It's not like, oh, I played 3 hex cores, that's 3 mana. That could have been an entire unit at some point, or a protection spell or anything. So I think this is a really, really big change. Also, on top of that, I think Victor Aphelios is making a lot of sense here. Like, because Aphelios, he gets moon weapons from when you play cards, and you have a 0 cost card from Victor now. And PNZ and Targon have made sense for a long time. Like, Zoe, Aphelios, and Victor makes a lot of sense. Zoe and Victor is something that used to go together. Zoe and Victor with like Give It All and stuff like that. And now you have Aphelios in the mix as well. Like, I feel like 1 Zoe, 2 Victor, 3 Aphelios or something could make a lot of sense. Or 2 Zoe, 1 Victor, 3 Aphelios. It makes a lot of sense. It makes so much sense because these cards, these regions just give access to so many things for both of them. Protection spells for Victor, Zoe, and Aphelios, as well as ways to finish out the game too. That's probably, I would be surprised if that's what I play tomorrow. That sounds like a lot of fun. All right, that's all the champion changes. No Katarina change. Sorry for the Hopiums. You predicted it. Nice. Okay. Zersai Doombreaker. Base stats 36 to a 35. Another nerf. I don't understand the nerfs to Lurk. I don't get them. I don't think they're necessary. I don't know if people have been having a bad experience playing against the deck on ladder or unrated or anything. I personally haven't seen an issue with it. Like, I've lost to it, sure, and I've won against it too. I think it's questionable. Also, too, this is a weird card to hit. I feel like they just like looked into their stats and they're like, oh, this card has a really high win rate when it gets played on turn 6, and then they nerfed it. I have no idea if that's true, but that makes sense because I've never heard a single person in my entire life complain about this card being too good. I don't know if you all have. I have not. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this one, is what I'm saying. Twisted Catalyzer, base stats 3-2 to 2-2. This is one that everyone on Twitter has been complaining about. Some people like this change, some people don't. Honestly, I have no opinion on it. I was never really, I don't know. Darkness is one of the decks that usually I can beat with my meme decks. So I don't have too much of an opinion on Darkness. I personally haven't minded it, but I know it is a very strong and competitive play. I don't mind the 2-2 change. It's the same thing happening anyway. I'm just going to trade something into it that does 2 damage. I'm fine with that. Yeah, I have no issue with this nerf. I think it's fine. I think the card is still very good. It's a little less snowbally when there's no attack, but yeah, it's still pretty snowbally when there's no defender. But yeah, less damage is done. Vanguard Sergeant 3-4 to 3-3. Yeah, this change needed to happen. This card was just really disgusting at 3-4. Having a 3-mana 3-4 that gave you a card just flat out better than another Demacian card, by the way, the Badger Bear, just straight up better than it, and it gave you 4 Demacia. It just didn't make any sense. This is one of those cards that I feel like, right, it's like, this is a good card, but no one plays it. We're just gonna make it overpowered so people understand that it's a good card. And that's what happened. I'm glad that they reverted it back. All right, Bandle City. Conchologist from 2-2 to 2-1. This is what most people were expecting. Some people were thinking 1-2. This card is still going to be extremely good. I still think this card is broken. I still think people are going to complain about it. And I think they're going to have to do something else about it. That's all my thoughts. I think I don't think much changes with this at all. Nope, nothing. No. 1 point of health isn't good enough for this card. I think the 2 attack is actually pretty important. Yep, it's the value generated, not the stats. Yeah, this doesn't really change anything. It's kind of trolling in my opinion. Loping Telescope from 2 cost to 3 cost. Base stats are up to a 2-2. So it's a 3-mana 2-2. So this is to avoid the go wide boards a bit more. Personally, I like Loping Telescope, okay? I know people complain about this card all the time. Wah. I pulled this crazy card in the RNG. It just wasn't fair. Okay, I'm sorry if you're one of those people. I'm sorry that I did that, but it's a fun card at the end of the day. It makes the game interesting. In a game that is, in a lot of cases, the same thing happening over and over again. Oh, I lost a rally. Woo! Like, no one complain about rally. Don't complain about this card. But this card, I don't know. I never really minded it. I always thought it was pretty fun. But yeah. Do you think Loping Telescope is RIP or not? I think it's good in control decks still. I think it's bad in aggro decks. I think it's still going to be played in, like, yeah, value control decks, which Hydra and Terra. that's funny. That's a good one, isn't it? I made a good joke. You can play around Rally, but not so much about Telescope. You can play around Telescope too. Like, people are complaining about the variance of like the 5%. Okay, 95% of the time, this card doesn't win someone the game. Okay, this card, Conchologist, oh yeah, this card wins people the game all the time. Telescope, no, not usually. They just think about the 5% times where they get high rolled. That's it. Rally is just boring because it's the same way to win over and over and over again. The fact that it's predictable is what makes it boring. Of, I'm going to die to Golden Ages this round. That's boring. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to play against Demacia and be like, oh, I'm going to die to Golden Ages now. I guess I'll play around it. Like, that doesn't work. It can give you cards that give you more cards. I would say that that is a better argument for sure. That's definitely a better argument of it being too much value for what it does. And I think too, saying like it giving me 12 cost cards might be too much value. Like, maybe you change the epics to be like 6 cost or less, or 5 cost or less. That's a good argument too. Like, making the pool smaller, yeah, that's fine. I think this change though, I don't think it's it. I think there's better ways to change this card, but Hey Garth. Azir's change is bizarre. I like his change. It makes a lot of sense with Mono Shurima. Paddle Star. What is this? Well, I mean, this is from Zoe's spell card, the stun card, and then you get Paddle Star. Deal 4 to an enemy that attacked this round or is stunned. Deal 5 to an enemy that attacked this round or is stunned. I don't get what. I don't understand. What does this do? Can someone explain to me? What does this do? I don't get it. That's all. Next card. Quicksand. It was -4/0, disable its keywords, excluding native keywords this round. You know, so like it keeps ephemeral, for instance. Give the enemy -4/0 or 2 enemies -2/0. Disable their positive keywords this round. Oh. That's a really good change. This is the kind of rework that I like. Instead of just being like, oh, we're just gonna give this thing 1 health. Woo! No, this is a good change. Because Shurima has lacked having like an identity for a spell. Like, it really never has one. It never had like a Troll Chant or a Sharp Sight or a Pokey Stick. Quicksand is it now. Like, this is so good for Shurima. Like, this is really good. It's good for Mono Shurima. It's good for Shurima Overwhelm. It's really, really, really good. Yeah, I mean, Quicksand was already a pretty okay card beforehand. It was never bad. This, giving you the versatility to disable keywords on 2 units, that seems really good. That seems like not game breaking good. I don't know. I think this card might be too good. I don't know. It could be really, 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 really good. Making whiteboards less effective, nerfing Bandle City without, yeah. They're trying to kind of up the power level of other regions while not nerfing Bandle City. I mean, they did that with the Rocket Barrage. They've done that with Quicksand. They're trying to give regions tools to deal with what Bandle City does. Yeah, Quicksand's already seen playing too. Yeah, this is a really, really strong change. We will see Quicksand everywhere for sure. She Who Wanders. Obliterate all followers with 4 or less power in play and in hands. Okay. Obliterate all units with 4 or less power in play and in hands. So, if you played back in the preview day, if you played back in the preview of Legends of Runeterra before it was even in beta, this is what the card did. It obliterated all units. And because everyone was so bad at deck building and didn't know what they were doing, this card just won the game flat out all the time. Because no one ever won before turn 10. No one won before turn 10 ever. So this card would just nuke everything. It would just destroy everything for sure. So, this card... Oh, this card. I still don't think it's good. I think it needs Overwhelm. I think you get this card Overwhelm, it maybe sees some play. I think it's funny to, you know, kill my opponent's champions a little bit. It's a little bit toxic too, but that's kind of why it's funny, because it's a 10 cost card. But I don't really see this changing too much. We've come a long way since She Who Wins was dominating LOR, and since she was restricted to only hit followers, she mostly wandered out of people's decks. We still want her to be a top-rate finisher, and letting her disrupt the opposing game plan more effectively will hopefully give her a role as a late-game option. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. She hasn't been good for about 2 years now. Maybe a little bit longer than that. It's been almost like 2 years and a few months. So I feel like the game has been power crept a bit out of this thing's reach. Unfortunately, if my Bandle City opponent does this crazy board and I can't do anything about it until turn 10, yeah, it's just not going to work, is it? I guess I can get rid of their cards after I like avalanche them and Blighted Ravine them a few times. Sure. Promise to nerf Yorls and Arms and Bandle Tree next patch in April 27th if they're still out of control at the beginning of the patch. Alright, did they tweet that or is that on Reddit or something? Spoiling the patch for me, jeez. So there's no Bandle Tree nerf or Yordles and Arms nerf? Oh gosh. I think Loping Telescope is still very good in Bandle Tree, by the way. I just want to point that out. I think it's really good. Yordles and Arms, I don't understand how that got on the patch. You skipped it. Oh, okay. I think Yordles and Arms not being nerfed is a oversight. I know they're nerfing other aspects of the go wide part, but it's questionable. At least they have it like on their radar and they're watching it. That's a good thing. It kind of blows my mind too, honestly. Personally, I haven't had the same hate against Tree. I haven't really minded it, but it is kind of polarizing, and I understand why people dislike it so much. So I understand wanting it to be nerfed. You know, maybe my mind will change later.
Say hello to my little friend.
I understand wanting it to be nerfed, and I think Yordles and Arms not being nerfed, I don't understand at all. I don't get it. They nerf Pike, but not Yordles and Arms. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Also, thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. Sheriff Lariat Rose. Base stats 6'5" to a 7'6". So she got +1/+1. I don't really think this changes much for her. 6 mana 7/6 is a lot better. My Bilgewater buff. So Riptide Rex is going to be next, right? Wait, do we... Oh, no. Oh, okay, it's not alphabetical order, is it? Oh, wait. No, it is. It is. Oh, no. It's an alphabetical... Oh, wait. Is it? No, it's not. Oh, it's not. Okay. Wait, it is for the region, though. Oh, no. Or is it? Please revert Riptide Rex. I want him back. Was that a raid sound? I didn't hear the raid sound, but you all might have. Was it too loud? I didn't turn things down when maybe I needed to. Sharp Sight used to be 2/2. It's now give a +1/+2. Okay. I mean, Demacia, this card has definitely been too strong. I have no idea how I would have changed it myself. That's... I mean, I don't know. I feel neutral to this. I don't play Demacia, and I don't hate Demacia. I hate Rally, okay? I hate Rally, and I want to see a Rally change. Sharp Sight, I've learned to live with at this point, and a lot of regions have really strong things. I mean, Twin Discipline, it's getting nerfed too, it looks like. As Troll Chant, probably not, because Freljord's play rate is abysmal. Give an ally +3/0 or +3 health. Give an ally +2/0 or +3/0. This one's pretty funny. The reason why it's funny to me is it's called Twin Disciplines. And there's the two twins. You know, they're supposed to be the same. And after 2 years, After 2 years of not being able to balance this card, they just said, screw it. Plus 2-0, plus 0-3. It's really funny to me. It's so funny. We didn't know how to balance this card, lol, to keep it with the flavor. They're just fraternal twins, yes. They're fraternal twins now, true. I know it's based off of Akali's weapons, but those were like the same length, so I don't know. Health is the favorite card. Health is the favorite twin. King Jarvan the Third. Base stats 3.6 to 5.6. If you're doing Jarvan stuff, this does make it a lot better because, I mean, this says give allies Challenger and Scout. It doesn't mean he has it, but the card is less dead if you don't have Jarvan. Now it's a 7 mana 5/6 with tough instead of, oh, and you get to draw a Jarvan too. That's a lot better. I don't necessarily think that makes it good, but it's a lot better. Change. Effect is no longer consumed by units that already have Challenger. This has to deal with Quinn. Valor stealing her Challenger. That makes, I mean, it's a good system change. It makes a lot of sense. Not too much more to say about it. Reworked Akali doesn't have the same weapon, so it's okay. Oh man, I didn't even realize that. Sacred Protector. Change. When I'm summoned, draw a Shin. Allies with a barrier have double attack. Play. Give an ally barrier and draw a Shin. Allies with a barrier have double attack. That makes the card substantially better. You're now giving a card barrier and double attack right at the start. With Ionia, if there's ways to give Overwhelm, it becomes a lot better, but at the same time, a 7-cost card, 8/6, give something barrier, draw a Shin. Shin, when this card originally came out, Shin was a tier 1 deck. Shin Fiora was a tier 1, like S tier deck, one of the top 2 decks in the game. This card was not good enough at the time to do anything. I don't really see it being good enough now either. Yordles and Arms is just like, compare this card to Yordles and Arms and then tell me they're even on the same playing field. They're not. Like, what are you supposed to do with this? I don't know what you're supposed to do with this. I mean, me, a memer, will probably do something with this, okay? Me, a memer, will probably play this card at some point. But for the majority of the players, it's a little bit better too in like PvE now. Yeah, it's better in PvE now. It gives a barrier, but that's about it. Sigil Malice from 4 to 3. Reputation, I cost 1. It's still 1, so the reputation didn't change. It's just LeBlanc's spell is less bad if you draw it and don't have it at 1 cost yet. A 3 mana deal 2 to anything is not bad. It's not as good as Mystic Shot, obviously, but it's in Noxus. It's still burn. I think they don't want this to be used as another burn spell in Noxus, so they were probably a bit hesitant to make it at 3 mana. Obviously, they don't want to make it at 2 mana. But yeah, I think this change is fine. Calculated creations. Change. Create an armed gearhead, ballistic bot, or neandroid on hand. Create the same things in hand and granted +1/+1. This is a great change. This is how it probably always should have been. Neandroid as a +1/+1. It's a 2/4 elusive with an augment. Keyword is pretty scary. Dealing with a 2/4 elusive, 4 health elusive is really, really, really spooky. It was that like 5 mana for 2 mana. Is Neandroid? I think it's 3 mana. So that's 5 mana for a 2/4 augment elusive. Pretty spooky. It is 4 mana for a 2/4 ballistic bot. Not bad. And then armed gearhead is a 3 mana armed gearhead with, you know, they all have augment as well. I like this change a lot. This is great. I'll play with my Victor deck. Flash Bomb Trap. Change. Cards that previously planted flash bombs in the top 10 cards of the opponent's deck now plant them in the top 8 of the opponent's deck. That is great. Okay, I love that change. 10 cards. 10 cards. Oftentimes you don't even get to draw 10 cards in a game in this game. Oftentimes you just don't get to do that. Now, top 8 means that they're more likely to draw flash bombs. It makes Ezreal Caitlyn looking pretty good. It's looking really good. So that's something I could see for sure. I like this change. I think this change is great. I personally love the Caitlyn, like Teemo Caitlyn archetype. I like the Caitlyn Draven when it was a thing. I like Caitlyn Ezreal. I really like Caitlyn as a card. I think she's a lot of fun. I think she spices up games. I like the variance of the flash bombs. I think it creates really fun moments. Sometimes you hit none. Sometimes you hit a lot. Sometimes you hit the average. I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun because it makes every game feel different and it changes the decisions of my game different because I get to decide, oh, this flash bomb hit. Should I flock this now? Oh, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's better if I wait for this to happen. I like it because, like I said, it makes my games not feel the same over and over again. Love this change. One of my favorite changes. Quicksand and this are my 2 favorite changes so far, I think. Careful preparation. From 3 mana to 2 mana. Let's go. I'm playing Careful Preparation Mariah Great Mother. That's one of my favorite that's one of my favorite decks to play. So I'm gonna definitely play this because this thing being at 3 was just way too much to deal with. It's still not great at 2, but it makes playing a Predict a lot less bad. I'm so excited to play Mariah Great Mother with this card. Camp for the Doubt. Base stats 5-4 to 6-5. All right, +1/+1. It was when I'm done. If you target ally 6+ times in the game, grant me Spell Shield, Overwhelm, and Challenger. It's now 4 rounds in the game, grant me Spell Shield, Overwhelm, and Challenger. Makes a lot more sense because this card costing more, or more targeted allies than Pantheon never made sense. So making it less than Pantheon, if Pantheon's 5, I think, I'm pretty freaking sure, makes a lot of sense. I like this change a lot. This is great. I was just thinking here, Alexaphilios control Bonanza. Oh yeah, Alexaphilios will be good. Oh, looks like that's it. Ooh, champion skins. Infernal Shin. That's why they buffed Shinbo, okay? That's why they buffed Shinbo. They're like, we're releasing Infernal Shin. We have to buff Shinbo. That's a good one, right? That's a good one. I see what you did. Alternate level up animation.
On the job.
Barrier. Wait, what is this card? What is that card? Stop it. What is that card? It's 0 mana? You have a barrier? What is that card? Do we know that card?
They are under my protection.
Do we know this card, chat? Hey, bad karma. Do we know what this card is though? That's what I'm interested in. I don't think we know this card. It's 0 mana. It has the riot symbol on top of it. It has the riot beta symbol on top of it. They leaked it. Look, it's got the riot symbol on it. That's a new card. Good one, Riot. It's a testing card. Yeah. It's a Jhin card. It does look regionless, doesn't it? It is regionless. Yeah, that doesn't have a region. Huh. It might be a Jhin card. I thought Jhin was skills, though. Oh, no, they said you had follower cards, too. Gotta love all the Shadow Isle changes. Were there none? There's essentially no Bilgewater changes either, and I really wanted Bilgewater. I don't know, guys and gals and everyone. I don't know. I think Aphelios is going to be nuts, and I think Victor Aphelios is going to be pretty good. But man, I wanted to see things, you know. Mirror Rumble might be pretty good too, but I really wanted to see a little bit more shakeup than what we're getting. I mean, Aphelios is going to shake up the meta a ton, I feel like. Okay, let's be clear on that. But like, I wanted to see previous archetypes that have died because they've been power crept, like Deep and like K Control and stuff like that, get a little love, and it didn't.
Let's brighten up their day.
Didn't. Also, I don't know why my sounds aren't going, but Elga B, thank you so much for the sub. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh wait, no, I think the sound is going off. I think my headphones died. Ah, they did. Hopefully the sound wasn't too loud. Let me know if it was. My headphones had died. Thank you so much though for the sub. Really, really appreciate it. I don't know, y'all. Maybe my expectations were a little bit higher than they should have been, but I was, ooh, that looks cool. All right, the cosmetics are pretty good though. Kennen. I don't really care about Kennen. I scrolled past it earlier. Oh, there it is. I was like, I feel like I saw something earlier. Like, that's pretty good. I love Gloomtooth. I will be getting Infernal Gloomtooth. I love Gloomtooth so much. Ooh, that's pretty too. I might get both of those. The cosmetics are looking pretty. Oh, okay. I'm getting the cosmetic bundle. This is great. All right, that's actually the thing I'm most excited for. I'll play some Aphelios too. But yeah, that's that was a little rough, honestly. I don't. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. I know a lot of players have kind of like lost interest in the game recently. Not recently, or I guess like the last few months, and I just don't know if this is enough to pull those players' interest back. I mean, Aphelios can do a little bit of that. You know, he can do some of the heavy lifting. But I don't feel like they hit Bandle City hard enough. And Yorls and Arms not being changed. Like, they do this over and over and over and over again. Oh, Gloomtooth for TFT, sorry. Yeah, I would love a Gloomtooth for TFT. But yeah, they do this a lot where they will put something on the watch list and it almost always gets nerfed after. Almost every single time they do this. They did this. They've done this with so many cards, like Unyielding Spirit. They did it. I'm pretty sure they did it with Go Hard and Pack Your Bags at one point. Like they are very hesitant to nerf things. Like the watch list almost always gets nerfed, and I don't know if it's because they really think things are going to change, or if it's because they don't want to overwhelm new players who just made the cards. I have no idea if there's incentives, or if they just feel like after these changes, yes, it'll be good enough now, or those cards won't be as much of an issue. But like, they're changing. Bandle Tree is not really changing. With these, it's not really changing. You're not making an archetype that, like, changing this, it doesn't really matter that much. Changing this doesn't really matter that much for Bandle Tree. So I don't understand. I don't get it. And personally though, like I said, for me, Bandle Tree, I don't really care about that much, but I know like a lot of the community doesn't like it and they don't enjoy playing against the deck. And I think that is something that's important, that just because I don't really care, the community's opinions definitely matters on it. Expecting something for Udyr. They're doing a Champions rework in April, I believe, is what they've said. So I wasn't really expecting a ton of Champion reworks. In fact, I really wasn't expecting something from Aphelios, despite his win rate being pretty low overall. But yeah, And I want a Gloomtooth Little Legend so bad. I love Gloomtooth. I love him, love him, love him, love him so much. Swain skin, Infernal Swain. Oh yeah, doesn't he have, wait, does he have a, he has a cool Lotus skin that I really like in League of Legends. I don't have Bandle City, Mom. What? Wait, I'm confused. Oh, I don't like Bandle City. Why is it still alive? Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure. It's pretty alive. I mean, nerf hurts it a bit. This doesn't do anything, okay? I'm a believer that this does nothing. Loping Telescope, 2 to 3, 2 2. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand this change literally at all. I have no idea of why this was changed. This is the most confusing change I think I've ever seen them do. Yeah, I don't get that one. Wait, did they say why? Tara is meant to be good at handling single thread slowly, regardless of size. Petalstar is certainly nailing the slowly part, but was falling short. But I don't know. Yordles and Arms Mail Tree is in the card update section. Yeah. They said they're watching it, but I don't understand why they need to watch a card that has like a 60% win rate. Is what I'm saying. We work on these patches several weeks in advance, and we worked on this one earlier than usual due to our week out. Yordles and Arms wasn't seeing nearly as much play. I guess that's understandable. As much as when these changes were locked, but we're watching it now. So I just don't understand too why they have to lock their changes so early. I don't get it. I don't think it's an excuse, but sometimes that feels like it when I see like TFT, who has a mobile client, will get changes, like they'll get hot fixes and we don't. And whenever Swim, for instance, has broken something in the game, they've hot fixed it. I don't understand why they can't do this for Runeterra. I just feel like it costs money. I don't know. I know it costs money, so I wonder if it's just like not worth it for them to do so, is what my thought is. But it feels really bad, where I feel like TFT, like every time something's like broken or needs to be changed, it gets changed right away. It feels really dumb that we have to then wait an entire month to fix something that people have now been tired of for an entire month. Why do we need a balance patch 2 months after? I don't, not a fan. The new removal cards have been added along with other changes to this patch that should have effect on its efficiency, but we're keeping an eye on it. That is a good thing though. They are right on that. Like my card, for example, is supposed to make it harder. Rocket Barrage is supposed to make it harder for Yordle and Arms to be able, because it does need to have like 3 cards on board and then you win the game. But having those 3 cards in should make it a little bit harder. TFT, most of the time things get changed in a week. Yeah, it gets changed. It gets like a B patch, and then there's the C patch even sometimes. Sometimes things are hot fixed. Oh yeah, no, they fix things so fast. A lot of people say it's because they're super picky about changes, but it makes no sense because everything you just said. Yeah. People would rather you remove the card from the game than you leave it the way that it is. Like, even if you did something simple that doesn't work right away, like let's say you make it +3/+3 instead of +4/+4. I think it's +4/+4 right now. If you make it +3/+3 instead, and save is still too good, then later make it +3/+2. That probably kills the card, but you know, people just want something, and they can do it. I guess different teams and different design philosophies, but I hear you. Yeah, there definitely is, and I think the Runeterra team is quite a bit smaller than the TFT team, for instance. They have a lot on their plate, so, you know, of course, no digs at them or anything, but it does feel bad as a player. It feels really bad as a player who plays... Well, I mean, I haven't been playing the game as much since I had my surgery, but when I played the game daily for 5 to 6 hours, seeing the same thing, it's boring. For most players, though, they play the game, you know, maybe a couple games a day or even maybe 1 game every couple days, and that's not as much of an issue for you then. But for me, it feels really bad. So that's definitely from like a very avid player of the game's perspective, and not necessarily the average player's perspective, who maybe they're playing their Yordles and Arms deck and they're really happy it didn't get nerfed. Most people on Reddit are going to be more like me, where they're playing the game a lot, and Twitter too, because they're more invested in the game. But the average player probably doesn't care that Yoros and Arms didn't get nerfed. I could be wrong, but it's hard to say. And Bandle's Tree, like I said, personally, I don't really care about this card that much. We made changes. We have changes planned for it, but the changes are more complex to implement. So we have targeted. Okay, that makes sense. That one makes more sense of like, hey, we're reworking this, and the changes aren't just like, oh, we made it cost one more. This makes a lot of sense. I don't blame them at all for this one. The Yoros and Arms one is a little bit weird, but yeah. Are you still working with Swim? I loved your work together. Yes, I am. I'm his YouTube manager still. And I need to actually message an editor real quick. Yeah, I'm you know, I'm doing the stream right now. I'm also working with the thumbnail artist and Swim's editor to get his video out at the same time. So yes, we come up with our ideas and stuff together. Well, our ideas, I mostly come up with, we come up with his ideas together. He doesn't, you know, do mine because, you know, I work for him. But yeah, we come up with like the challenge run ideas and stuff like that together. And then like the best way to turn it into a video and such. I still do that with him. I mean, we have a meeting usually 2 to 3 times a week where we'll talk about like content creation and stuff together, and it's been really good for both of us. So where is the Ruination challenge from that bingo? Completely ignored YouTube, marked as completed on YouTube. So a couple of them just didn't come out that well in the sense of they weren't satisfying for the viewer to watch. And I thought the Ruination, I thought I still had the Ruination in there, funny enough. I thought I put it close to all of them. There was a handful of them that just weren't very satisfying that we decided not to make a video on it because we didn't think it was high enough quality for his YouTube channel, essentially. For looking like a cutie, yeah, he's pretty cute. He's pretty cute. What is the progress looking like? But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. A little disappointed. Gotta be frank, a little disappointed. I feel bad whenever I say stuff like that though, because I know that these are still a lot of changes that the devs worked hard on. I just think they missed. And I think that's okay to say, and like to say why I feel that way. Of course, you know, you know, I'm not saying like, oh, the devs are lazy or anything like that. I think that's like really toxic when obviously they put in a lot of time to make all these changes and testing them and such. But I do feel like they missed. And that is disappointing. It'd be nice to see them. It feels like any archetype that's kind of fallen out of favor, they are just ditching it completely. Which sucks. It really sucks. Because there are archetypes that definitely are a lot of fun to play and I feel like deserve a spot in the game, and they don't. I tried playing Deep literally last week in normal games and was having a very hard time with winning games in it. It was a really hard time with winning games in it. I think the new cards are a great idea. I hope they continue to do them. I think this is really cool. I like the new cards a lot in that sense. I think it is, they're not necessarily like super fun, you know, archetype enabling cards, but I think they get the job done that they're supposed to be getting done, and that's a good thing. Oh, there's Desert Jewel and a LeBlanc, funny enough. Which I think is super, super important. I like the idea of these a lot. I think these are by far like the best things of the patch. I love the Caitlyn change. I love the Quicksand change. I actually like the Azir change too a lot. Like there's changes that I definitely like, but man, I really wish Bilgewater got to exist again because that's a really fun region and it just doesn't get to exist. And of course too, Vandal City getting some nerfs, good, but maybe not heavy-handed enough. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the patch. Woo. Can't the community just agree together to never play Yours and Arms and BT until the next patch? Nope. That will never happen. Here, 1 second. All right, so sorry, story time. My house has been having bad plumbing issues. And when I say bad plumbing issues, I mean literal sewage blew out from under the toilet last night. It's the most disgusting thing. It's in the basement though. I'm upstairs. Yeah, so we have plumbers over here right now looking at it. And my husband just messaged me that there are pipes that are essentially like not sealed together properly, and there's a giant like dip in it, like there's like a groove in it, and so like things are getting caught in there and piling up, and that's what's making it back up. And so like it blew out the seal of the toilet. Like, you know how like the toilet's on the ground, you know, they have the seal around it that, you know, makes them stick there. It blew that up. Like it blew, like just sewage blew out from under that and went all over the floor. So yeah, it's a fun time, huh? So yeah, I have plumbers in my house right now, but my husband's the one talking to them and stuff because I had this card reveal. That happened last night. Yeah, what a fun time. So that's gonna be not fun to deal with later. I'm not excited. Let me see. They cleaned it out, so it's really perfect right now, but said it won't be for long until it happens again. Oh, lovely. Suggested a ton of cleaner down the toilet for 4 days straight and run a lot of hot water down frequently until we fix the external issues. Oh, that sounds so much fun. You can smell from here. I can't smell it up here, thankfully. We have a giant fan, like, I don't know, it's a lot bigger than that. It's like a big fan. It's a really big fan that's like blowing the stuff out the window downstairs. The plumber came the next day. That seems like a fast response. Well, here's the real kicker, okay? I didn't tell the full story. We were starting to smell like, you know, like sewage smell in our house like a couple days ago. And we were like, man, or actually, sorry, last week, we're like, we need to get someone out here. Like something bad's gonna happen. And guess what? We got people out here last week and they cleaned it and they're like, okay, you're good to go. And then this happened. And or actually they're like, you're good to go, but we like want to like run a camera through and like check things more thoroughly. So we had already had it scheduled for today later in the day, so it could be after my card reveal, but then they're like, oh no, we can only come in the morning. So but yeah, and then the bad thing happened last night. The cleaning apparently didn't work. And now we have a dip in the pipe, apparently. That cannot be fun. I don't really know how they go about fixing that. I'm guessing they have to like excavate or something our yard to fix the piping. Not gonna be fun. I'm not excited about it, but you know, life is life. Yeah, life is pain. That's a bad thing. For negligence. Yeah. Oh, they said the thing is that they cleaned it, but they said they had to like take a deeper look at it. So I don't really think it's their fault necessarily because they cleaned it, but it's still broken because the pipe has like a groove in it, like a dip. So like, you know, instead of being like a here, I got this. I mean, using my hands only does so much. You know, instead of like pipes are usually like this. Instead, it's like, you know, something like this. So the water can flow kind of, so like it builds up probably like around through here. Yeah, so there it is. You know, that's where the water is. Should have made it blue. And then you have all this like, you know, sewage and toilet paper and stuff here that cannot flow over and out anymore because of this groove. So it's just getting, you know, even if they clean it, this can fill up pretty quickly. patching the pipe. Yeah, this is the patch notes. Yes, the sewage issues in my house are the new patch notes. So yeah, so it looks something like this right now. This paint art stream fog. Yeah, I used to do MS Paint all the time when I first started streaming, like 5 years ago or so. I used to paint stuff all the time because I'm terrible at drawing, so people found it hilarious whatever I try to make. So yes. The fact that came before it happened did not detect such system break problems as something more. Well, they didn't have the camera, and the camera cost like $300 to run through, which is ugh. So they didn't have the camera to actually see the issue with the pipe. To them, they've, you know, put the little like cleaner thing, you know, like the snake down there, and they cleaned it out. You can't actually feel if the pipe went down or not. So that makes sense. They knew they needed to come back, but they didn't know that this was about to happen, I should say. It's a headache. It's not fun. It's the opposite of fun. Yep. It's the opposite of fun is the way I would describe it. I'm a bit stressed out about it. Sounds stinky? Yeah, it smells terrible downstairs. It smells like sewage, like actual sewage. They actually nerfed Gifts Crescendum I though. They didn't nerf Gifts. Gifts is the same. I mean, Crescendum is a nerf to Gifts, but Gifts is the same. Because since the weapon, it's 1 + 3 = 4 + 2 + 2 = 4. Gifts is the same. You can make the argument, oh, with Gifts you can no longer Crescendum something out of your deck. That's a nerf. But I would say this is mostly the same. Oh, nerfs Crescendum I though. My bad. Sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah, they did nerf that. They nerfed the Lee Sin deck a tiny bit technically. Yeah, good call. They did. I'm down. Lee Sin should still be nerfed as a card though. Imagine nerfing Pike but not nerfing Lee Sin. Can we all think about that for a second? Imagine nerfing Pike but not Lee Sin. Huh? So how much better is Azir now? He's a bit better. Nothing too insane, but a bit better. Nerf on Twin Disciplines counts as Lee Sin nerf? It is, but like Lee Sin himself needs to get nerfed. He needs it. Like Twin Disciplines and Crescendum nerfs are both Lee Sin nerfs indirectly, but Lee Sin directly, he's always going to be broken in the state that he's in. And printing Minimorph is not the answer. Nerfing Lee Sin is the answer. Minimorph is still a mistake of a card to be made in the first place. I mean, this game does such a poor job of rewarding you for doing fun things. I'm actually gonna make a big... Well, I don't know for sure. I think I'm gonna make a big video on it sometime. Like, very... Like, maybe within like the next month or so. About design problems in Runeterra. I know people have done it in the past, but I have an idea for a video or two that I feel like can be helpful for like understanding the perspective of someone who is like looking to play the game for fun and like do fun things and stuff like that, and ways that the game doesn't allow you to do that a lot of the time. This game doesn't do a good job of allowing players to do that. For example, you make a Heart of Fluff, or it's like, you know, you're playing Poros, you're spending the whole game, you know, making your Poros bigger and giving them, you know, different keywords and stuff, and then you play the Heart of Fluff, and you have this giant, like, 30-30 Poro, and it has, like, a bunch of keywords on it and stuff, you're super excited, and then it gets mini-morphed. Or then it gets concussive palmed, and you can't attack. Like, the fact that a fun card like Heart of Fluff is often a game-losing card instead of a winning card when you're making the big unit and stuff is bad. I think that's really bad from a player's perspective. It's not necessarily bad game design per se, but it's really boring for players when they spent the entire game making this giant heart of fluff and now they just lose. That same for Cat. Yup. Like it's not good. But if my opponent is playing, sorry, no offense to people, but Nar's a boring card. Like he's fine, but he's boring. Or you can just play Nar, you can play the boring card and you can win the game. Like a lot of the good cards in this game are unfortunately really boring. It's just the truth. It's sad. Pantheon I don't think is boring. Yumi's pretty freaking boring. She's not great, but she's pretty okay. Victor's a really good card. He's a really bad card, but he is one of the more fun cards in the game. Like, it's weird because a lot of the cards that are fun in Runeterra are not very good cards. This card, super freaking boring. Oh, it's a good card. That's crazy. Like, that's an issue with this game. But there's a good number of issues. Don't get me wrong, I still love the game. Like obviously I've played it a lot of hours. I made content for it consistently for days on end for 2 years. I had literally thousands and thousands of hours in this game because I do like it. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have problems. And as someone who cares about the game, I also care about the game's problems. And some of them are unable to be fixed ever. That's just how it is, but other ones could definitely be fixed and future design could fix it as well. But yeah, that's general. That's some thoughts. I plan to make some kind of video in the future for it, like script out a pretty long video, or not pretty long necessarily, but like a couple videos on like design perspective and stuff like that. Maybe I'll get infernal skins for my Pantheon. Does Pantheon have infernal skin? I like the board and the shark a lot. Of course, I love the only card game that's free to play friendly, but yeah, I mean Tesla was very free to play friendly too, but that game died in 2020. That game died really hard, but I loved that card game from a design perspective and play perspective. But yeah, that game died. That game died really hard, and it was very free to play friendly too, but it's a hard market to get into. Card games, that is. Infernal Panth is a thing now. Yeah, I was scrolling down to it. There's Kinnan. This is Pantheon. It's kind of hard to tell that it's Pantheon. It almost looks like Brand. Except, you know, the only difference I can see is abs. That's how I can tell. You are online, it's 100% free to play on like Dueling Book and other places. Yeah, but the problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is there's too much to learn for a new player to really get into it. Or at least for like Duel Links or whatever, or like Master Duel right now has 7,000 cards in it. How are you ever going to get new players when you have 7,000 cards for people to learn with pretty long text? Not gonna happen. But I see what you're saying, Love and Flow. As more of a point, all infernal skins are literally the same thing, but with different weapons. The Kinnan one looks very much like Kinnan. When I look at this, I'm like, yeah, that's Kinnan. Like, without a doubt in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's Kinnan. It's a little rat. But this one, it's like, all right, abs must be Pantheon. And the thighs, too. Like, look at them thighs! I'm not looking at the bottom, covering it up with my hand. Is this Galio? Okay, it's Galio. I knew because of the wings, though. He has abs, too. Doesn't he? Oh, no. Do they just give all the guys abs? Yeah, I mean, it looks like he has abs. I think. Like, it looks like there's something going on there on the stone statue, man. Alright, who is this? This is Swain, right? Okay. Seeing this, I was like, yeah, that has to be Swain. Okay, I like the Swain one quite a bit. This one, yeah, I can tell that it's Swain. Mostly in the second art. In the first one, he kind of looks like he could be Viego. His hand gives it away a little bit, but I don't know. I could see him being, like, Infernal Viego almost. Of course, though, if it was Viego, he would have abs bigger than Pantheon's, though, so... Maybe I'm trolling. Get it with too much hot sauce on the nachos. I don't know if I actually care about the board that much. I think it's fine, but it is a bit bright. I'm still gonna get it because of the bundle, I think. Or maybe I'll just get Gloom. No, because Gloomtooth needs a warm home or else he'll get too cold and freeze to death, so. Ah, there it is. Oh, the only thing that matters. Okay, well, this matters. Actually, I actually really like the bird. I think the colors on this are so good. The fact that they did like a hint of purple here, I think gives it like just a really good touch of color. Like, hey, Dan, wouldn't this be a great little legend? Like, this would be such a cute little legend. I mean, so would Gloomtooth. I would play Gloomtooth Little Legend. But these two should both be little legends. They are so adorable. I'm gonna get them both. I like it how they have this one and this one. And they don't have the Poro. The Poro is like its own thing that you buy because no one wants the freaking Poro. They want Gloomtooth and Silverwing. The cosmetic team knows what they're doing. The cosmetic team knows what they're doing for sure. Oh, I love them both so much. I love Gloomtooth. Honestly, this card back is kind of boring. I wish they would have done the color palette of the Silverwing instead of just yellow and orange and a tad bit of red. Like, if they would have done this color palette instead, it would be so much better.